and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is about that time. Keep your hands up and keep your head on a swivel. The Haymakers and Submission podcast is here. We woke up and chose violence today. Stick and stay for combat sports talk at its finest. Coming your way now.
Welcome everyone once again to the Haymakers and Submissions podcast. My name is Drew. Joined by my partner Chops, Michael Mills. Mr. Mills, how you doing?
Man, good day. Not warm weather starting to break. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be alive. You know what I mean? Doing pretty well. Matter of fact, I will be cutting out of here tomorrow, heading to, which you guys know, Mike Doc. He's my cousin, heading to Louisiana. It's supposed to be literally over the next 7 to 8 days where they're literally in the 90s every day. Every day. Yeah, man. So I'm with that.
Nice, and we got a special guest here. Why don't you do the intros?
Yeah. Now, I call him nephew, right? His father and I grew up since, literally junior high. I remember stealing super glue. Wasn't even super glue. It was Elmer's glue from the local neighborhood mom and pop store. And when my mom asked me who did it, I panicked and said he gave it to me in wood shop, going back to 7th grade. So yeah, me and his dad, thick as thieves, man. His real name is Joseph, but we call him Monk. And like I said, we got him nephew now because that's how I refer to him all the time. But his real name is Joseph. But when he was a kid, he was always friggin' into something. And true story.
Look, they just didn't want me having nothing, so I had to find a way to get it. They put the cookies on the top shelf. I had to find a way to climb up and get it.
He did literally
stop me from getting it.
He was always into something, so he couldn't. Let's put it this way: he's in diapers.
Oh, yeah.
His mom took the cookies and put them up on top of the freezer, the refrigerator. So me, his dad, and mom were sitting there just hanging out. Whatever. I'm back home because I'd already moved down to Atlanta at this time. And we hear, what is that noise? It's the chair scooting across the floor. So we don't say nothing, right? Whatever. His mom gets up to look. And she's like, come here, come over. So we come around the corner. He's not looking at us. Nephew's not looking at us. He has pushed the chair to the refrigerator. He opens the freezer. So the lower part refrigerator's closed, freezer's open. He opens it, pulls himself up, and he's standing in the freezer, right? In the diaper, standing in the freezer. Reaches his hand up on top of the freezer now, fills the cookies, grabs one, puts it on the ledge where his feet are under the thing. End up doing this 3 times to get 3 cookies.
I had to get 3. Can't have 2.
Gets 3 cookies. Gets
4 is
3
too
cookies.
much. You gotta get 4. Can't get 2.
And watch some stories.
Yes, he gets his cookies, man. Gets his cookies. And then he grabs his cookies and then puts them on the chair. Lets himself down, closes the door, gets off the chair and turns around and sees his folks and instantly just starts crying. But because of that, he was always like a monkey into things. So they start calling him Joe, then Joe Monkey. Then Joe Monkey, we're from Western Pennsylvania. We shorten everything. So then it went to Joe Monk. From that point, we just started calling him Monk. So now it's been since he's 3 years old. Since 3 years old, we call him Monk. Since 3 years old, man.
That's been it. I was always into something, man.
Yeah.
But like he said, he started calling me nephew recently because I was calling him Unk. But I feel like that's the thing now. Everyone says, he's Unk status. So I just go by nephew.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Whatever.
Well, welcome to the show. I'll call you Monk. You are my nephew.
I'm good with it.
All right, cool. Well, fellas, it was an interesting week. We're going to talk a lot of combat sports today, and I know you guys are going to jump into some UFC 315 fight reviews. A pretty good card up in Montreal. Why don't you guys take it away?
It was. And you know what? And we will spend some time on this because for once, for you and me, Drew, there's not a whole lot of boxing going on. We are going to touch on Navarette and Suarez, and what's going on Pacquiao and Barrios. But starting out with this one, this entire card, well, the 3 fights that we're going to talk about, right? It was kind of weird because you had Aldo and Schevchenko, the grizzled veterans, right? Mm-hmm. Then you had Belal and Della Maddalena, who were not new to the game, but they haven't etched their their spot yet like those other guys have.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we're up in Canada, and Zahabi, Aldo started off these 3 fights that we're going to talk about. Aldo and Zahabi. Now, first off, Aldo is only a year older than Zahabi, but has numerous more fights.
Which is crazy. Like you said, it's crazy because he's been around forever. He's been around forever, fought everybody.
Yes, and the crazy part is when you know how long he's been around, and you think about how long he's been around, he's only 38. Now that's not much in regular everyday years, but once you start, especially combat sports, 38, that's definitely an elder statesman. And when you hear he's 38, he still doesn't look it, but it's still almost like, wow, he's only 38 because he's been around Aldo for so long. He goes back to WEC, so where
was he Pride or no?
I don't think Aldo fought.
I don't know. I don't think he fought Strikeforce because he was already
not Strikeforce.
I remember him in WEC. I don't know if he was in Pride though.
I don't think he wasn't because I think he was already in WEC, whatever, and fighting, over in Brazil, whatever have you. But he's been doing it a long time,
forever.
Okay, now I was really looking forward to this fight because I was looking for Aldo to come back, have a good performance. Leading into it, okay. Well, before we start, what was your mindset on the fight leading up to it? Before fight week, leading up to it, before they stepped in the octagon, what were you thinking?
To be honest, I don't know if we talked about this or I talked to Dad about it, but I thought he looked good from his last fight because he just fought. He just fought back in. Was it before? Yeah. It was October. He fought that Mario Baista, or what's his name, Baista or whatever.
Batista.
And I thought he looked.
Yeah,
that was it. Yep.
Something like that.
I thought he looked good, so that's what I was telling Dad. I think he still has someone to tank, especially like you said, for being 38.
I know.
Being 38, he still looked like he can bang with any of them.
Yeah, and I thought he was doing this because, and it stinks because as long as he's been doing it, he is Aldo, and as long as he's been doing it at a high level, he's still on the main card, but he was always the headliner. And I'm not saying he's the gatekeeper. I'm not saying that. But his fights used to be main event or co-main event. So so that's hard for me to see how far he's fallen off. But by the time,
didn't he fought Marab in 2022, 3 years ago?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He did, and that was for the main event, wasn't it? That was the main event. Yeah, that was main event.
That Jonathan Martinez beat him as a co-main event in 24 back in May. It was last year.
That's right. That was on that wasn't a pay-per-view. That was a fight night.
It was a fight night.
Fight night. Yeah. I forgot about that. And normally, that's it. Where he's been on fight nights.
Wait, no, that was UFC 301.
Was it?
Yeah, he was a co-main for was it Let me see. I'm gonna look it up here.
Was it Pereira would that have been Pereira and
Pantoja? Yeah, because I remember thinking he could turn around and fight Pantoja right now. I got
you. Well, here's the thing, and I was hoping this fight was going to be him. I wanted him to look good because I didn't want them to start relegating him to a gatekeeper because we know he still has the skill set. We know he still has the skill set right now. It bothered me. He missed weight by 8 pounds. 8 pounds he missed weight. And
you ain't even trying, bro.
Exactly. Now Drew's a fight guy. So you know what it's like if you miss weight by 8 pounds.
Oh.
And for Aldo to miss weight by 8 pounds, it's even more troubling because he was always so much on the business. And he treated his body like a temple. This was his tools, he wouldn't, like a carpenter. You're not going to leave your saw and all your tools out in the rain. You take care of it. That's what he did. So for him not making the weight, it was weird. Now, after he lost, and just being honest with you, I had Aldo winning 29-28. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I did. The last round, because he gassed. He really, he
and
gassed.
that was really what it came down to, because I had the same thing. And that's like something I was reading on Ag or Twitter the other day. Someone was saying like biggest robbery, and this is such a huge. Like I hate that term.
Yeah,
because it's like, dude, it wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. It could have went either way.
Yeah, you know what? And that's, as we say on the show, nephew, it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. So the fact that I don't want to say gave it to, but the fact that they chose Zahabi, number one, it's a little bit of home cooking because they were in Canada, so that's a little bit of home cooking.
Yeah, I thought that too.
St. Pierre, is he or is he not one of the greatest? He's got to be top 5 greatest athletes to ever come out of Canada. Yeah. So he was in the corner of Zahabi. So I think it was a little home cooking on that aspect, because I had Aldo winning those both fights. I thought in the first round he dug the body well. I felt, and he didn't kick much, and I think that was a sign of a veteran knowing his body, and he knew he didn't have cardio. He knew he didn't have cardio. Like nephew is deep into it. Like he's rolling either one night of the week. Nephew's either wrestling, he's jiu-jitsu, or he is wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or boxing.
Doing something.
Yeah, and he's rolling. He's rolling at some of the gyms that have produced guys at the Mat Factory, that guys that have fought in the UFC, worked out, rolled a little bit with Cody Garbrandt, you know what I mean? So he's another name, so he knows these guys. So he's also grinding a lot, nephew is. So and I'm sure you could see it, nephew, when Aldo wasn't throwing kicks, and he throws vicious leg kicks, and he fires them off like a whip. I mean, his kicks are nasty. And the fact that he wasn't using those as a weapon let me know he's not in shape at all. And like he fell off a cliff in that 3rd round. His engine just died. What was it? If you 3 minutes left and he's staring at the clock. I mean, you've never seen him do that.
And that's the thing. And I think win, lose, or draw. I think if he wins that fight, I think if he loses that fight, he's considering retirement. It was on his mind. He was ready to hang it up. Like he even said, this is hard on my body. I can't take this much anymore. And that's what they all end up saying. But I think you see it in the last couple of fights, and it ends up being sad, because like Anthony Smith, like the dude was a dog back in his day.
Yeah.
But he gets to his fight, and it's like he just gasses out and's getting pummeled. Like that's just where they're at mentally.
And I don't want to put anybody above anybody, but it was harder with Aldo because of where he came from. Like, I'll be honest with you, if we're going to keep it a buck, with Aldo, the biggest thing that had broke my heart is how he lost to Conor. Yeah. One shot. I
think they did him dirty too, though.
I
think they did him dirty too on that, though. And I know, like, Conor was the guy, and they wanted to promote him. But any other champion, as soon as he loses, like Adesanya, when he got knocked out by Pereira, right away, Dan is in the press car. He's getting another fight. He's
run it back. They didn't
do that with Jose. They didn't do that with Jose.
And what had it been? I think it had been literally 9-10 years since Aldo had lost a fight before that. So, and they did. They hyped up Conor. And it was weird, because when you see, if you were going to go back and watch that fight, Aldo was always coming forward, but he almost ran at Conor with his hands down. Something it wasn't in his norm, but it is in here. But I think
that attests to his gas tank. He said, if I'm going to take him out, I have to take him out now, because I'm not going to pace with him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. I think when he saw red, he was like, I got to kill him now.
Yeah,
and it just didn't.
And it was weird, because he mentioned that, and he, in Aldo over his years, never, ever, ever, ever been one for excuses. Never been excuses. And he said, it was a hard week for me. He had some personal stuff going on. He's never said that, and we don't know. And that's, like I said, his personal stuff. But it was hard to watch. I still thought he won. Not going to protest. Not going to call it the biggest robbery in combat sports. But I do think it was some home cooking. I do think it was some home cooking.
I agree with that.
Now here's the thing. I know Zahabi got the win. I don't see him moving high up the ranks. Now, anybody can win on any given night. When the leather's flying, kicks are going, anybody
was
can
just
get
going to
got.
ask, what do you think's next for him?
I don't, because to me, like I said, if the gas tank doesn't go for Aldo, Aldo wins that fight to me. And I'd have had it 3-0, Aldo winning that fight. But his gassing, well, when he gets knocked down and Zahabi's on his back, he didn't even try to get up. He just took the elbows. He was like, I'll concede this last round because I won the first two. So that was hard to take, man. And when you watch him and you see the legend, then I can't do it. My body can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
It just, man, and it just stinks to see him go out that way because I thought he won that one. So, you know, but hey, it was a good fight. It was a good fight to me. You know, I mean, of course I'd like some.
It's always a good fight, you know, when
but
leather's flying and
I say on here
he kicked him in the head on the ground at one point. Like he was just, it was a dog fight. So.
He did. He soccer kicked him.
He did twice.
Yes, Zahabi just got his hands up. I mean, soccer kicked him like he was in the streets. Yeah, it was a good fight. You know me, like I say on here, I watch two old ladies at bingo. I love a fight. I love to watch a fight. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it was a good way to start.
Real quick before we switch on, is there we got some guys leaving the UFC? Some big. I mean, Dustin Poirier's retiring here.
I know.
Jose Aldo's retiring here.
I know. Here's the thing. We understand, like I said, Father Time's undefeated, so they're all going to pass on. When I say pass on to other things in their life, not pass on.
Yeah.
Who do we have up and coming to replace? Gaethje can't be far back, right? To replace a Gaethje, to replace a Chandler. I don't know how many more Oliveira has. Now your boy, whether Poirier, this is his last one, Aldo. We have some guys that are talented, but these guys, win or lose, they always brought it. Yeah. You knew those. Seriously, the old man in the movie 300, come back with your shield or go out on it. And those guys literally were willing to go out on their shield.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talent. There's guys that are quicker, a lot of guys that have more well-rounded games, you know, but.
So here's what I think really helped the lightweight division, because like you said, we just lost Islam. We're probably going to lose Gaethje here soon. We're going to probably lose Dan Hooker soon, Michael Chandler soon, Dustin Poirier soon. But on the flip side, you got guys like Arman, Suzukian.
Yeah.
Holloway's just stepped up to lightweight. Ilya is now lightweight, and he's fighting Charles Oliveira.
Poirier, yeah.
So there's people moving up, but there's also people leaving, and that's
Now, here's the thing, though. And those guys are. Now, Holloway's starting to get up there as well, right? Mm-hmm. But you got Poirier and like some of those other guys you named. We know their offense is nice. We get that, and they're great strikers. But we also knew with Poirier, with Gaethje, you know, with Aldo, they were going to give as good as they got. We need to see Poirier and some of these other guys get tested to see if they'll fight through the adversity. You know what I mean? So I am looking to see. But again, we got up and comers, so it's sad that we're seeing a lot of the established veterans go, but it's good because it's exciting. What's next? And like you figure, you know, we have guys that are on Contender Series that start out as, you know, the Ultimate Fighter show that have worked up for belts. So it's hard to say. And you got to give Dana credit, whether you like him or not, or like some of his business practices. He does put them to the best. Yes, and he does put some of the best.
O'Malley was a contender guy who was a UFC champ. And I'm not trying to be funny, but he's becoming the face of their brand.
Yeah.
For guys like that, he does have a way to find people.
Yeah. And so I'm interested to see where it goes and how these fighters, and if they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. But Dana will make sure that he finds out. Yeah. He does not do like boxing where he protects their undefeated records. Dana does not do that.
I was just watching something today, Mike, about it was TJ Dillashaw talking about Cody Garbrandt when they fought. And he said TJ said on a podcast, he says when Cody beat Dominic Cruz, they dumped $6 million of promotions into him because they wanted him to be the new brand. And he turned around and got knocked out twice by TJ Dillashaw. They don't care about you. No. You're undefeated. They don't.
No,
they dumped $6 million into him, and he gets turned around. Like, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
So like you said, like he's going to find people and he's going to test people. Yeah.
Yes, they're putting on the best fights. All right, man. Let's move on. We got a little longer on that one than we expected, but for a legend like Aldo, you need to do that.
Oh yeah. So here we go.
We didn't even get to talk about if he's going Hall of Fame or not. I think he should.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Without question. With
Okay.
first ballot. And it's crazy because they don't have voting like they do for baseball. You don't have to wait X amount of time like you do football. Dana just announced this. Like you saw real quick when the Lioness got in, right? She didn't even know. Amanda Nunes. She didn't even know. She was just sitting in the crowd, and you could see by her reaction, she didn't even know she was getting it.
They do that in the event center. They're like, if anyone thinks they should be Hall of Fame, clap your hands, and everyone starts clapping. They just induct them. Like it's he's in. We put a video together. He's in.
It's like a bunch of guys hanging out at the bar. It's like, hey, you want another round? Yeah, okay, we're getting around. That's how they do it. You think you're in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, cool. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now, this one, fellas, I'll be honest with you. Okay, everybody had what do you call it? Fiorot. Mm-hmm. Fiorot. They had her. She was the favorite. She was picked to win this. I thought it was disrespectful to the champ. I really did to have Manon. Now, be honest with you, Manon. She was bigger.
The Fiorot was a plus like 400, or Schevchenko was an underdog.
Yes, yes. Now here's the thing. Manon, she had only lost 2 rounds in her UFC career. Number one, this showed there's levels to it. Number one. Number two, Fiorot was much bigger. And fellas, and I'll be honest with you, she impressed me. Fiorot impressed me because that first round she came out and got smacked. She was just trying to walk her down. She didn't realize there were levels to this. She had to get into her bag. And I'll be honest with you. If we take away the belt and these are just 2 fighters, the way I scored it, I had Fiorot winning that 48-47. I
could have had 47. I saw the third round, second and third round going either way.
And that's why, and that's what I'm saying. So the way that your boy Schevchenko won it by a whisker, but it was unanimous. I don't. Yeah, I'm seriously, man. And honestly, but here's the thing. Shevchenko is starting to show her age as well. Her kicks weren't firing off as well.
Yeah.
Her jab didn't pop as well. In the first round, when she was catching Manon was walking into it. And here's also
she ate a couple spinning back fists.
Yeah.
Like a couple spinning heel kicks and stuff.
She did, yeah. And here's the crazy part. Where Fiorot, how you pronounce her name, the first round, no, because Schevchenko won that clearly. Dispute that.
Yeah.
But the other 3 of the other 4 rounds, she had over 2 minutes of ring control.
Yeah, she did.
If you control someone for 2 minutes, you win that round 9 chances out of 10. You win that round.
Yeah.
And it, to me, now see, again, your pops would understand this, nephew. There's an old adage in fighting. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ, right? So there's a lot of times you got to beat the champ. There was a time years ago in boxing where you had to knock the champ out to be considered, to have won it. That's why they go 25, 26 rounds, whatever have you.
Then JDM's the champ either way, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. So, to me, Schevchenko did well in holding her own because Fiorot was a little bit younger, bigger, had a better gas tank, but nobody holds Schevchenko to the cage like that.
Yeah,
and again, it was showing her age.
Honestly, Mike, I just thought she had a terrible game plan. Mike, she's a long fighter. She's a long fighter, and she doesn't have better striking than Schevchenko, but control that distance. When it got inside, who holds Schevchenko down?
No,
and she held her down.
Yes, and held her against her. Yeah. Here's the thing, and it's kind of funny, and it would be like, imagine if you could, Drew, watching Mayweather fight. You're a big Mayweather guy, and him fighting a guy, and Mayweather's his contact percentage, right? His connect percentage was less than his opponent. So picture him fighting a guy who has better defense than him. Yeah. You'd be like, what? And that's what it was like. This girl, nobody dominates Schevchenko. For 2 minutes of the round, over 2 minutes of every round, she was holding her against the fence, and that was impressive.
Yeah, I looked at the cards. All three of the judges had it 48-47, but they were different, very different. Only two of the three had Schevchenko winning the last round, but they were all in agreement on the final score.
Yes, and see, and had it went the other way, 48-47 for Fiorot, I wouldn't have been upset because with that ring control. Now, again, she didn't beat Schevchenko up.
No.
So if it had been two
and
regular
I think that
fighters,
was it's so tough because I don't know how they scored in Canada either, as far as takedowns and stuff like that. But when you watched it, you're like, okay, Shevchenko was beating her up a little bit as far as on the feet, but she was getting held down, and that was like when it came down to looking at first or second, third, and fourth rounds, I was like, really, it could have went anywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was just tough for me to say, okay, man, I really think she got robbed. Like, it wasn't one of those things. It was like, okay, I could see Shevchenko beating her, but like you said, if you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't like I'm mad about that decision.
Exactly, because it was that close. Either And it's funny the nephew hit on that because he said how they score in Canada, where most people think they're UFC judges, they travel, they score how they score. But in Canada, the rules are different to some. Like, you can't foot stomp in Canada. You cannot foot stomp, but you can't everywhere else.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. You can't foot stomp in Canada. So that does play a part. And it was kind of weird because Schevchenko, even though she's smaller, she was smaller than Fiorot, and she's been eye to eye or maybe a little bigger, whatever. But regardless of who she fights, she always comes full stream ahead. Hell, she fought Amanda Nunes.
Shevchenko?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think,
And she wasn't coming forward. So I don't know if she hurt her. I don't know what happened after that first round. And I know Fiorot made adjustments. I didn't see Shevchenko making adjustments, and that's not like her and her kid.
But I don't think she needed to. That was my whole thing was she knew she could just sit there and just pick her apart at a distance.
Man,
and that's why I thought Fior's game plan was terrible because I think she had a 2-inch reach on her.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure, but she had a reach on her, a good reach.
Yeah,
and I'm just thinking like you didn't controlling anything. Like you're letting her sit there and counter you.
Yeah,
and she's getting picked apart.
And the crazy
then she tried to take her down, and I didn't like her game plan at all.
And the crazy part was, I thought Shevchenko looked, I don't want to say slower, but slower for herself than normal. She wasn't popping off that jab normal.
Yeah.
And she was still countering Fiorot. She was still countering her, which was like, well, I don't know, man. I expected to see more from Shevchenko, but you know the old adage in fighting, I'll win this fight, look good the next one. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, she retained her belt and she kept going. So we'll see what happens next.
Yep, for sure. What you think's next for her, though, real quick?
Whoa. Shevchenko?
Mm-hmm.
Never, I'd have to look. But the girl, Shevchenko, who she lost her belt to, and I'm looking right at her.
Juliana Pena?
No. The most recent. I'm looking right at her. They just coached the Ultimate Fighter together. She lost.
Harrison?
No. Oh, man. If you look on that card, she lost. If you look, hold on for a second. If you look up Shevchenko in her record, hold on, let me see what we got. Hold on, give me a second, fellas.
I got Zhang Wei Li. I don't know who.
Who's their last 2 or 3 fights?
You got me on this.
As soon as you're gonna hear. Hold on, man. As soon as I say her name, you're going to know who I'm referring to. And I can't believe I'm having a brain fart like this.
She beat Alex Grasso.
Alex Grasso.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know she lost to her.
Yes, she lost to Grasso, right? And then she got it back.
A draw. She got submitted by Grasso, and then she had a draw.
Yes.
One against
Grasso.
Yes. Now, Grasso just lost to Natalia Silva. She looked real good. Against, she
had some wicked kicks, man.
Yes. And that, hopefully, that could be a good fight. But
I heard someone say the Fighting Nerds has a sister or something like that because she's Brazilian. I think she trains at that gym.
Yes. Yeah. And she is nasty. And she's is nasty. Those fight nerds, those fighting nerds are ridiculous. I think right now their record is 19-2 or 19. No, well, two. Thing didn't one of them just lost last?
He just lost to Ian Gary.
Yeah, but the girl had lost one. There was a girl that had lost. She that had for their team before whatever. Okay. So and now we have. But the Fighting Nerds, they're a force to be reckoned with. They are a force to be reckoned with, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm glad Schevchenko got the win. But I'm interested.
Drew, you know about the Fighting Nerds or no?
I'm familiar, but not that familiar.
Okay, I was to say there's like 4 or 5 guys out of this gym in Rio, and they're just monsters. Just savages. They're just monsters.
They are, and they come in with the glasses like you got the Harry Carey,
the glasses and the tape, and they do. They're coming looking like clowns, but when it comes fight time,
yes. But what did your boy say in Gladiator? On my sign, unleash hell. As soon as they lock them gates and say, yo, fellas, go at it, they unleash hell. They are no joke. Yeah. So I'd like to see Natalia Silva go against Schevchenko, but Shevchenko's got it. And she's 37. I know she's 37.
That'd be some high-level sparring.
Oh, exactly.
Striking.
High level. Yeah, high level. But
I think Shevchenko would take her down.
But Sylvia's a black belt jiu-jitsu as well.
Oh,
she's a black belt jiu-jitsu as well, so it'll be good. That'll be a good one, regardless. If that's what we could line up, that will definitely be a good one.
We'll talk to Dana.
All right.
Yeah. You gonna give me a call, nephew?
There you go. Put in a good one for us too.
Yeah.
All right. That final fight, the main event. What we got, fellas?
Nephew, I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and kick this one off.
I was gonna say, to be honest with you, Mike, Belal, in my opinion, is well-rounded. I think he's good everywhere, but I didn't think he was the guy. I never thought he was that championship, just when you think of a champion, I'm like, Belal didn't come to my mind. He was one of those guys that's just solid. When
he's grinding.
You see him on someone's, yeah, he is. So, but Mike, JDM came out he looked like the defending champ.
I know.
JDM came out looking like he was supposed to be there, like it was his belt, and this guy was trying to take it off him.
Well, to piggyback off of what you said about the last fight, you didn't like the fight she fought. Drew, styles make fights, right? Styles make fights. I did not like this one because we're starting to see this in MMA. Your boy Holland does it. Kevin Holland. Mm-hmm. Holland does it. Where he wants to he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he wants to show he can stand with guys or this, that, whatever. And other guys are doing that. And I think Belal wanted to stand to show he could stand.
And that I wrote that down actually to say, I think he first off dismissed JDM for not being there. But he said some crazy stuff. I'm not gonna take him down. I'm gonna show my Canelo hands. Dude, you're not that guy.
No, he really isn't.
And he said that twice in a post
yes. And here's the thing. And even if you want to do that for the first 3-4 minutes of the round, as you're feeling out whatever happens, okay. But after the first round, you knew your striking wasn't to his. And now I'm not saying, Della Maddalena. Yes, absolutely. Della Maddalena, JDM is not a sniper, right? He's not what Anderson Silva was. He's not what, if you want to say some of your best strikers with his hands and feet. But he's better than Belal. And when Belal got, I don't want to say, the saying I use, get in your feelings, where he got in his feelings, I said I'm going to stand up with him, so that's what I'm doing. Because if you remember, in the third, fourth, fifth round, when he pressed the issue, he was able to get takedowns. He was now he took some blows too when they were scrambling, knees flying, whatever have you. But he was able to get JDM down.
And here's the confusing part. Here's the really confusing part, Mike. There wasn't, and this comes back to he wanted to stand and strike, but there wasn't a single takedown in the first half of the fight.
I know.
Attempt, not even a takedown, an attempt.
Now,
I don't think he threw a single leg kick until the second round.
No. Now,
late second round.
If he fights this fight against Leon Edwards in his last fight, I don't think he wins the belt. He had 13 attempts, takedowns. From the opening gate, he was taking Edwards down. He'd stand with him a little. Then once he got hairy, he took him down, held him down, punished him for 2-3 minutes at a round, whatever have you. For him not to go after Maddalena, and here's the thing, even how the nephew knows, even if you're not successful in the takedowns, you still go for him. That gives the opponent something to think about. He's got to think about level changes. He's got to think about feints. He then also
it's his setup.
Yes, he also has to waste his own gas tank fighting that off.
Yeah.
And to me, I think I do, man. I think he is kicking himself. I think Belal is kicking himself.
I heard people saying some crazy stuff like, oh, he was overtrained. He didn't look good. This, that, and the other thing. Like, Mike, I think it was just, first off, I think it was bad style for Belal.
Absolutely.
Belal.
The fact that he said he wanted to stand up.
He was throwing air.
Yes.
And you know, even in boxing, he was throwing air. That gasses dudes out. When you're throwing that hard and missing, not connecting at all, you're going to get gassed out. And I think he just kept – he was throwing air.
He's not a great striker. He's solid everywhere, but he is a good wrestler. You're not putting him in Makhachev. You're not putting him in Khabib's level of wrestling. You're not putting him in Cormier's wrestling. But he's a strong wrestler. And for him to stand there and want to bang the whole time, that would, to me – and you saw his face at the end of the fight. Face looked like hamburger. That's what you get. And
but he came into it like that. He's got that nose on him.
Yeah. And even Magdalena's nose looked like the letter S towards the end. He took some shots too.
Yeah.
But he weathered the storm. And you can appreciate this, Drew. His corner got in his face the same way Teddy Atlas got in Michael Moore's face. You got more time. You got his 10 minutes and you're the champ. Don't give it up. Don't give it up. And he didn't. And even though he was winning the fight, I thought he was winning the fight. Magdalena, he did not ease off the gas in the fifth round. He went for the end. He went to end.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because two of the three judges that had a 48-47, Magdalena won the last round on those two cards.
Did you think it was that close, Neff? Did you think it was that close? No, me neither.
I thought they scored a perfect with the one judge scored a 49-46. I thought that was a perfect score.
Yes, that's what I had.
Thought that was a perfect score.
That's what I had it. That's what I had.
Yeah.
It. But it was
But JDM, I think JDM was in a flow state. The dude was just on point. I think he did a great job of switching back and forth to southpaw. I think he was constantly pumping that jab.
And what it was, he was gaining – how can I say this? He was gaining confidence in the stand-up, and then he was so far ahead on the stand-up, his confidence was so much better. And he's still fresh because, to be honest with you, JD wasn't being pushed much harder than he would in a hard sparring match because he didn't have to fight. It was all stand-up. It was 90% stand-up. So,
and like you said – go ahead.
So, and when Belal tried to get takedown, he was
already so confident.
Yes, and he wasn't level switching properly. He wasn't setting it up. He wasn't giving him different things to think about. It just, I don't know, man. I didn't like that with Belal.
Yeah, I think Belal did. We saw I thought in the first round we saw a champion out of Belal where things weren't going his way. Really, he was trying to fight, and he's just stayed composed. And to me, that's where, like, okay, the dude is a champ. Like, you can tell he's been in those hard situations.
Yeah.
He's been in those brutal rounds where he can just sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to grind this out and I'm going to keep going. So I did see that out of Belal, and I liked it. I was okay. He's got a little bit of grit to him, but I just thought it was JDM's night.
Oh, without question. But I think Belal's style let it be that. Now, they're already talking about JDM called out Islam Makhachev.
No, Makhachev's moving up. He said,
but I don't know if you saw the interview. He did mention his name. JDM has to realize, strike wise, Makhachev's not in his realm.
No,
but this wrestling, there's levels to this.
Those Russians don't care about. I'm going to stand and bang. No, I'm going to drop and do what I'm good at. I'm going to drop you on your head.
There are those Daghestanis. As we've talked about those Daghestanis.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's going to be. And I'm interested. And Makhachev Islam's not even going to be worried about jumping up in weight. He's not going to be worried about, I've got to go from 155 to 170, and how do I properly carry this? Because he is training with lions every day.
He walks around at 200 pounds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
I'm interested. For him. It didn't even take 24 good hours. He's like, I relinquished it. I'm done. He just didn't want to fight Belal because they're boys. They're both Muslims. He didn't want to fight him. But now
it was right after the fight. I got on Twitter and saw.
Yes,
he said I'm fighting him. I was like, okay, that was quick.
Yeah, he's ready. And it's going to be that's going to be a good one. And he's not going to stand and bang the whole time.
No, he's going to dump him on his head. And that's why I want to see where JDM's at. But really, and that's where I wanted to ask you, like, Are we seeing a little bit of a new era in the 170 division? There's some dogs in that division.
Oh yes,
JDM's a champ.
absolutely.
There's Islam
Absolutely.
Makhachev. Sean Brady just had a
Yes.
beautiful performance. Jaquan Buckley, who I think
Yeah.
he's gonna be fighting Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman and Islam, they're boys. So
They
if that
are.
comes, if Buckley and Kamar fight and Kamar beats him, and then there could be a matchup there.
Islam's. I need to see somebody.
Ian
mess with him
Machado,
in wrestling. I need
Ian
to see.
Gary.
I know. Ian
Like,
Gary's
that
the real
looks
deal.
good.
I give him the credit. He is the real deal, Jack. Ian Gary
Yeah.
is the real deal. He shocked me
But
last.
now, can I say something to that point? He
Yeah.
fought the one of the fighting nerds.
The nerd. I had the nerd winning and he lost. I did.
No, Mike. I think if there was 30 more seconds in that fight, he beat
Yes,
him.
he let Gary off though.
He did. He spent the first 2 rounds getting his range. Third round comes around, and Machado started kind of teeing off. And I think I honestly, Mike, I think Machado kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
I honestly think he got a little bit in his head, and when he caught him, I don't remember that kid's name. I got to find that kid's name because it's bothering me. But when he caught him, he went down, and he just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
He was just kind of laying there.
He did. That was a good one though. And if they, like I said, 30 more seconds, it could be a different.
Carlos Paredes.
Yeah, Paredes. Yes, Paredes. Yeah,
Paredes.
That was a good one.
That kid's no joke either. He's young. He's like, I think like 24, 25 or something.
And he's only going to get better. That entire gym's only going to get better.
Yeah.
You know, well, nephew, we appreciate having you. You know what I mean? And you can always, me and you, every time there's a UFC meet between me, him, and his dad, we're texting, going back and forth anyway. You know what I mean? So whenever there's another good one, you want to come on, or some big MMA news is on, by all means, you're more than welcome.
There's some big fights coming up, so.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be in touch. We'll be on. And now here's the good part. Now, nephew, he started out as a kid wrestling, right? He was a wrestler. Then he switched over to the MMA. His dad now doing martial arts years as well. So he started out as in wrestling to get the base. Now he's jiu-jitsu, whatever have you, still wrestling. But he's also starting to box. So he's starting to get into the boxing. And the good part about it, me and him are always going back and forth. I'm sending him videos. He's now starting to see, Drew, the difference between when they say I'm an MMA boxer and a boxer.
Oh yeah,
so much. There's some speed on them punches. And like the other day, so for example, like Ilia Topuria. Right now, I think he's one of the best boxers in the UFC. But he came closing in on Max Holloway when he had him hurt, shoulders down to hands down to his chest, and he's not worried about nothing because it's not boxing. And that you don't like when you see that in boxing, guys start bringing those hands down. Those dudes are too fast for that.
Yeah, that's all.
So,
and the way the combinations flow and just man. The way the combinations flow, but he's now starting to see it. Matter of fact, training. Matter of fact, he trains a guy. He's retired now, but was a pro boxer back from our hometown. Get up with him, get him on our show, whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah, anytime you want to come back, Monk, we appreciate you.
For sure. I appreciate you guys bringing me on.
All right, nephew. Appreciate it, man. Love you. Do your thing.
Sir.
Take care. All right, Chops, we're going to jump into boxing. It's good having nephew on there. Monk, he's a good dude. Anytime he's welcome back.
Appreciate it.
But here we go. Let's talk about that Navarette Suarez fight. Wow. Here's the thing. Navarette gets the technical decision because they went to the cards in the 8th round because the fight was stopped by the ringside physician due to the cut over Navarette's left eye. And you can see the cut on the screen, folks. It's nasty. But it was ruled an accidental headbutt, Chops. I didn't think it was in real time. I sure as hell didn't think it was after multiple replays, but yet they said it was. I'm really perplexed. Now, I like Navarette. All the judges had him winning the fight, and he got that technical decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was a punch.
Without question. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, which I don't want to say a black eye for boxing, but it goes back to the foolishness in boxing, why they've lost fans over the years. That was clearly a punch, clearly. And now at first, Bradley was all over it. Bradley was all over calling it a punch.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand they ruled how they ruled, and he didn't have a say in that. But I thought he would have been more vocal about it towards the end, but he really wasn't. Now, during when it's live, that was a punch, folks. That was a punch, folks. And he was animated. But once it got, nobody was saying, oh, Suarez got robbed. Suarez got robbed. I didn't even see him clash heads. I saw him come close, but their hair, that might have been Navarette's hair. That to me, we've seen head clashes. That wasn't one.
No.
And here's also the thing, right? Navarette on his fifth or sixth time finally made weight.
Yeah.
Finally made weight. Now, I don't know if you saw they were talking about it, Bradley, and the guys are sitting there talking, and the one guy sitting there, I'm looking right at him, I can't remember his name. He says that he was with Navarette and his team. They put him in the sauna with the suit on, put him on treadmill, did different things. Not a drop of sweat.
Yeah.
But you see how Navarette's built. He doesn't look depleted. Like, okay, prime example. Remember the picture you showed me of Boots Ennis before he rehydrated? You would send a picture a couple weeks. Boots looked depleted, right?
Yeah.
Garcia looked depleted to some degree in the picture against Garcia. Navarette did not look depleted, right? And he wasn't defined and sculpted. You're 130. We did not see abs around the midsection.
He's got the same physique as David Benavidez.
Yes.
Physique.
I didn't get that. I don't get that. Now, I don't know how hard it is for him to normally make weight. I don't know if he overlooks.
He says it is. He says he struggles all the time, and that's got to be something with his training regimen. He said it didn't matter if it was 135 or 130. He struggles to get down to weight. That's a concern.
Okay. It's a major concern because if you're struggling to get to 135 and 130, why are you even still fighting at 130? It should be 135 at minimum or go to 140. You know what I mean? But now here's the thing. I'm going to ask you before I answer. He goes to 140, 147. With his style, how do you think he fares?
I don't think he's got enough pop to do the damage needed at that weight. And if he's struggling to make weight at 130, the reason why he wants to fight at 130 is because he knows his power translates at that weight. But he knows also if he were to put on legit like 15, 17 pounds, I don't like his chances, to be honest with you. I really don't. I like his style. It's not that he would get steamrolled, but I don't think he would run roughshod through the division. That's for sure.
See, okay, well, first off, I agree because I wasn't even thinking of power because when I said his style, I think he would have problems like Pitbull has problems. Now, he's taller than Pitbull.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe because he doesn't respect the guys at 130 or in anybody's power. He just walks in, hands down, throws those big looping bolo punches. A lot of what Tank was doing at 135, 140, just running through guys. And somebody boxed him, as in Roach, and had success.
Yes, he did.
I see someone, whether it's a Boots Ennis, whether it's a Tank, whether because he gets hit. Navarette gets hit. Just nobody has the power to hurt him. You know what I mean? So, and that's my thing. If you're having a hard time making 135, what are you doing at 130? How that can't be good for the body. You know what I mean? That's an extra 5 pounds that if you're barely making 130, what are you doing? Or 130, what are you doing at 135? I don't like that. And you talk about a training regimen. Do you think they don't have them with the proper nutritionist? They're not doing the proper road work? What are you referring to that when you say that?
I would say it's nutrition because
can't outwork a bad diet. Can't outwork a bad diet.
I mean, I don't doubt the guy works his ass off. I'm not questioning that, but I mean, it's got to be diet related. What he's eating, whatever calorie combination it is, and it's a science, man. Believe me,
Yes. Yeah.
Studying for a long time, and I shit you not. I only in the last 4 years really put it together. I've got to just not be on a keto diet per se, but be very carb conscious, very low carbs, less than 40 grams of sugar a day, no more than that, and that's.
I got you.
Because that visceral fat just boom right away.
Right quick. I got you. And you would like, and that's right, but you know your body. But you would like to think it's someone doing it at his level with his team for as long as they've done it. they'd have the nutritionist that would let him know what to eat, how to do it. Because when you're barely making weight at 130, and I don't know what he rehydrated to, but he didn't look depleted. Even when he was weighing in, he just didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't. And my thing is, what does he have? 30-some fights? He's up there in fights.
Yeah, 33 or 34, something like that.
And I love Navarette. He is a fan favorite because of his style. But when you're still fighting on ESPN, 30-some 40 fights into it, bro, what are you doing? Where you know what I'm saying? If you're not holding major belts and fighting on pay-per-views, maybe it's because you're not taking your career serious. And I say that because, like you said, on the diet aspect, the training aspect of it, I don't know. This far along, man, he should be able, if you need to move up in weight, move up in weight. But regardless of what weight you're doing, you should be able to come in. And I don't want to say comfortable because it's camp, so it might be a hard camp.
Oh, yeah.
But you should be professional enough to make sure you make that weight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the resources that most fighters have, I mean, let's face it, if you're a pro fighter, you've got the resources. You can make it work. You've got to do what you got to do to make it work.
Yeah.
I want to fight a lower, at a lower weight as long as my power translates. I mean,
and guys have been doing it for years, and guys have been doing it for decades, well before us and well after us. Guys will do that, and I get it. Don't have a problem with that. But when you're destroying your body, or you're not doing it the right way, or when I say the right way, if you're not losing the pounds the right way, you're not on the proper diet the right way, you're shortchanging yourself, and you're even shortchanging your fans, and you're shortchanging your family because you could be a better fighter, you could have better fights, you could make more money. You know what I mean? So it's all tied into that. But I'm always going to watch Navarette. I just like win or lose. I'm always going to watch him. I just hate it for Suarez. I wanted Navarette to win. I'm glad he got the win. I hate how he got it because Suarez got robbed. In my mind, Suarez got robbed.
I think the justice here is they and I think they are reviewing this. I think this needs to be a no contest, to be honest with you. I really do. They need to rule this a no contest and have him run it back. I enjoyed the fight, and I would like to see
without question. Without question. Now, here's the thing. Will Suarez change it up? And I say that because he took some devastating blows from Navarette. So I got a couple questions for you. Navarette didn't knock him out, even though he battered him a lot, and he even wobbled him, stunned and shocked him. Do you think that was Suarez's chin, or do you think it was a little lack of power because of what Navarette went through to make the weight?
That's a really good question. I'll be honest with you. Let me put it this way. If I didn't know about the weight issue and I just was watching the fight, I would just give credit to Suarez's chin, and I'm going to do that because just like I'm going to give credit, there's no doubt that was a punch. He smoked Navarette, and it's a nasty ass cut. But I'm going to give credit to his chin. That's why I want to see it run back because I think Navarette will beat him again, but I would really like to see the fight because you can see Suarez definitely has more than a puncher's chance. He's got a chin.
And now Suarez is in he's a sergeant or something in the Philippine Army. They said if he won that fight, he'd have got a promotion in the military, right? It was tied in somehow. Now, knowing what he knows, I want to see if they come in and push the gas from the start. Let's see, Navarette. Number one, do you have a hard weight cut? If you don't and you make the 130, I still want to see where your gas tank is because nobody gets in better shape. Most people don't get in better shape the older they get. You can say, I'm in better shape now than I was at 20. Yeah, well, if you were 20 drinking beer, eating wings on it, I get that. You know what I'm saying? So
I wouldn't know about that.
I know what you mean. What? Drinking beer? No, absolutely not. So, so my thing would be they fight the next 6, 8 months, 10 months to a year. I don't see his gas tank getting better. Now, he may eat better and come into – and, man, I feel like that 2 miles, I did 2 miles a minute and a half faster than I did in any other camp. Okay. But now you're having a guy whose cardio is already better than yours. Now he's pushing you. That's different. That live action is – it. That's different. So I'm willing to see if because he hit Navarette some too. Before that punch, he was trying to give as good as he got.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to give. And now he took some of Navarette's biggest blows. So will he change his – hey, I took those punches. I can stand in there a little bit more. I can stay in the pocket. Will he do that? Will he get caught? This they got to run it back, but it could lead to some interesting game plans on how this is fought. Will, you know what I'm saying? Because now, would they even do a catch weight at 133? Because Navarette having a hard time making 130, but Suarez don't need to go up to 135. If you can't make the weight, that ain't on me. You know what I mean? So I'd like to see how this all shakes out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely look forward to a rematch. But yeah, no doubt in our mind it was a cut from a punch. So it is what it is.
I just don't know. I don't know how they saw that, man. And I saw somebody online broke it down to when they slowed the punch down, you could see the blood on the glove at that point.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to, I don't know, man. I don't know how they did. I don't know.
The more we think we have answers in boxing, the more questions that will come, right? And that's just how it is. But hopefully they run it back and we don't have any more of this nonsense going forward. So, but hey, we got about 4 minutes left in the show, Chops. Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao, the 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, coming back again, this time to take on Mario Barrios for the WBC World Welterweight title. Chops, at 46, does Manny Pacquiao have any more than a puncher's chance in this one, in your opinion?
Well, yes, but here's why. Here's why, okay? He still has the know-how. Now, only problem is, the mind is willing, but the flesh couldn't, you know what I mean? So the mind was able to. So, and I sent you that video where he was hitting the bag, no pop, no speed. If you know what I mean? So, and having said that, and what's your boy Barrios? I got him at 20. He's 30, 29. He is in his prime physically.
Yeah.
Now, but here's also why I give him more than a puncher's chance. He had a draw. Barrios had a draw against Abel Ramos. A lot of people think he lost that fight. And it's almost like this belt was basically given to him because he lost, you know what I mean? They thought he lost the fight, whatever have you. So I just don't know. Manny, you're a singer. You're in politics. You should be able to do all kind of endorsements. I hope he's not fighting because of the money. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That would be disappointing. No doubt about that. But yeah, he's got a lot of irons in the fires out there, and and he's 46. So I don't get it. I really don't get it.
And here's the thing, Foreman did it at 44, but Foreman was a power puncher, and the last thing to go from any fighters is power.
That's right.
Manny was getting knockouts, but he wasn't knocking you out like Foreman was. He was taking you along, whatever have you, figuring you out, game plan, cutting angles, whatever have you. 46, and you've been out of 2 years now, 2-3 years. I don't see the body being able to do it like he did when he was. I just don't, man. And what's Manny? What is he coming off? 2 losses or not a win in his last 2 or something like that against Ugas and.
Yeah, his last 3 actually were. Let's see, the unanimous decision loss, and then the no contest, and then it was the draw. The 3-rounder. Yeah.
It just, I don't know, man. I just, you know the old saying, you can die early as the hero, or you can always live long enough and play long enough you can retire early and be the hero, or you can play long enough and you always ultimately become the villain. Not going to say he's going to become the villain, but I think coming back now will definitely take the luster off of, and the shine off of what he's done, because I think we're going to remember this comeback, and I wish him the best. I really do. I wish him the best, man. Yeah. And I know he likes to do a lot of things. He also played basketball over there, whatever have you. But I just don't see it, man. You're 46, brother. 46. Nobody's getting better as they get older that way.
No. I personally don't like it, but like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess I'm looking at it as, he really doesn't have much to lose. He's going to look bad if he loses, but nobody's going to forget about the wars with Barrera and Morales.
No.
So, I mean, his legacy's intact. I mean, I don't think about the Trevor Berbick fight that Muhammad Ali had in 1982. I don't even think about it.
True that. I get it. Don't think about Holmes.
No.
Yeah, I got you. You think about him in front.
A little bit, but not that much.
Now, I hate to even try to put Pacquiao in the same breath as Muhammad Ali, only because here's why. Yes, they're both great, dominant, whatever have you, different weights as Pacquiao did. Muhammad Ali couldn't because he was a heavyweight. It is what it is. Yeah. But towards the end, whether it was PEDs or whatever, people accuse Pacquiao of that, whatever have you. But what got Ali there, the draft and why he refused to, because of his religious beliefs, whatever have you, and the showman and how he spoke. Don't think they'll put Pacquiao in that, but I do think you coming back, if he'd have fought Barrios 2-3 years ago and lost, maybe got knocked out and went out on that, fellas, I'm 44, I can't do it like I used to. Right off to the sunset, champ. Do your thing. Coming back, I'm worried. I'm worried, man. And you're right. To sports fans like us, we won't. But don't forget what you're looking at with these new boxing fans. You know what I mean? It's hard to say how they'll label them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Hell, not trying to be funny, but you think about it back in the 80s and maybe 90s, but definitely in the 80s. If you see a fighter like Suarez get robbed, say it was a punch when we saw it was a punch, there'd have been boos from the crowd. Maybe even some stuff thrown into the ring. They would have been ticked about that. Today's fan don't see it that way. They don't care as much. So, you know what I mean? So I'm interested. Even if Manny loses but looks good losing, that could add a little shine. But if it does, now is he going to ask for bigger and better opponents? Not trying to be funny. This is, again, why the IBF is a joke. How are you going to put a guy that hasn't won in his last 2 or 3 fights, who's been retired for a year to a couple years, and you're automatically going to give him a shot at the belt? How does that work?
Well, and actually, this is the WBC. So
you're right. It is WBC. You're right.
I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of folks that just got stepped over. I don't get it. I really don't. But fight's supposed to happen July 19th in Vegas. Well, it's 3 months away, so we shall see if it actually.
We will see, man. I don't know, man. I'd like to see some more hitting the bag and sparring. Because here's the thing. Even when Tyson fought Paul, we saw Tyson hitting that bag. He looked good hitting that bag. Now, because of the way the contract was, there's nothing you can say to make me believe that wasn't fixed and the sham wasn't in.
Jake looked not legit. Jake Paul fight. If you want to see an entertaining spectacle that involves boxing, Jake Paul fights
WWF of boxing. Got it. That's exactly what it is.
Yep, that's it.
But we saw Tyson hitting the bag. Phenomenal. He looked like he was a lion out there. He looked like a killer. But when he got in the ring, he had to turn it back. Pacquiao doesn't even look. He's a shell of what he looked. You know what I mean? And I understand a lot of it was in timing, but he was trying to hit the bag, throwing some pop, and I didn't see it. Now I understand he's only 147, 140. I don't know what they're fighting at, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be on 147. So. We'll see.
And then, if he fights and beats Barrios, what is he going to do? You don't want to put him in front of Ennis. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. No, man. So what are you going to do? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Remains to be seen. I mean, I know the fight's it's signed and it's scheduled for the 19th of July. Let's see what happens.
Would he and Thurman run it back? I'd like to see.
Oh. No, you know why? One time we'll get him. I truly believe.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. Absolutely.
The Thurman we saw a few months ago. Yeah, Pacquiao. That he looked great against Thurman when he fought him. That was like 4 years ago.
It was a while.
Yeah,
different guys.
We shall see. We ran a little over today, but great show. I want to thank your nephew Monk again. And Chop's always great talking combat sports with you. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking the videos. Appreciate your comments. Don't forget to catch us every week, Friday night on ESPN Network at 10 p.m. on a Roku channel. For Chops, I'm Drew. Take care, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching the Haymakers and Submissions podcast. You can find us on the ESEN network on the Roku app every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time beginning on October 4th, 2024. Check us out on Twitter X. Our handle is @HeySubPod, capital H, capital S, capital P. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode. Just go to your web browser and type in www.youtube.com
@, Haymakers and Submissions Podcast, as we will drop content weekly. Whether it's boxing, MMA, or wrestling that gets you fired up, you'll get all you need right here at the Haymakers and Submissions Podcast.